Welcome! In this tutorial, we'll be examining some of the terrific features that ProPack Plus has to offer. One great feature that ProPack Plus users receive is the ability to create and schedule unlimited events through the duration of their annual subscription. With ProPack Plus events, you can use one event to confirm multiple suggested times independently to each of your invited guests. To use ProPack Plus features, you must first enable them from your My Info page. Click on the My Info icon located here. Check the box beneath the Enable ProPack Plus exclusive feature located here. You'll need to save the setting change by clicking the green Save Changes button located here. Return to My Events. Then create your new event by clicking the large green Create New Event button located here. We're immediately brought to the ProPack Plus option tab because the ProPack Plus feature is now enabled. When the ProPack Plus feature isn't enabled from the My Info page, then the ProPack Plus options tab is dimmed and bypassed, and the event creation process begins with the Event Info tab. Step 1 of the ProPack Plus option tab allows you to select the type of event you'd like to create. The first choice allows you to create a typical standard event. A standard event is one where you'll be confirming all of your invited guests to gather for one specific time, like a dinner party, Super Bowl party, or a business meeting. If you'd like to create a standard event, you would just leave this option selected and click Next to move on to the Event Info tab and create your event as you normally do. Select the second option in Step 1 when you'd like to create a ProPack event. When we select the second option, we're presented with Step 2. These are the ProPack options. Both of these options allow you to control how you'd like your guests to respond to the suggested times you've offered for this event. Let's take a closer look at each of them. The upper option is labeled Allow all invitees to respond to every suggested time offered. When this option is selected, your guests will be required to input their availability for each of the suggested times you've offered, exactly like they do for a standard event. The difference is that unlike a standard event, here you can confirm each of the suggested times you've offered separately to each or any combination of your invited guests. The second option under Step 2, Manage Invitees' Responses, allows you to close each suggested time you've offered after each time receives the number of available responses you've specified here. Guests are not allowed to input their availability into a suggested time box that has been closed. The second option allows you to limit the number of times any guest may input their availability. This combination of options offers you maximum flexibility and allows you to be quite creative when scheduling your events. Let's take a quick look at how these settings work together. Here's a scenario where we'll be scheduling 3 separate interview times for 3 separate job candidates: Mark My Word, Sandy Beach, and Johnny Lately. We'll make this event first come, first serve by closing each time after it has received one available response from any of our candidates. We'll also limit each candidate so that they can only enter one available response for all the 3 times being offered. We'll do this by putting the number 1 in the upper selection box located here. We'll also put a number 1 in the lower box to limit each candidate so they can only enter a total of 1 available response. Note, when creating this final interview event, I would have made it private under the Event Settings tab so that the invitees would not be able to see the names of the other invited guests. We left it public so you could view the responses from each guest during the tutorial. Let's see these settings in action. Mark My Word is the first candidate to return to the interview event. Mark would have the choice to select his availability for any of the 3 possible interview times we've offered. As soon as Mark enters an available response to one of the interview times, a blue Response Limit Reach banner will appear over all of the interview times. This prohibits Mark from being able to enter his availability to any more of the remaining interview times. This occurs because we chose to limit each invitee to only one available response. Mark has entered his one available response, and now he has finished responding. Perfect. This is exactly what we were after. The second candidate to visit the event is Sandy Beach. Sandy has only 2 interview times to choose from because the time that Mark My Word has chosen is no longer available for Sandy or Johnny to choose. That time has been closed for responses because we chose to close each interview time after it received one available response from any of our guests. Simple. Once again, the blue response limit reached banner will appear after Sandy has chosen her availability for one of the 2 remaining interview times. And here comes, last but not least, Johnny Lately. In this case, Johnny doesn't have much of a choice because 2 of the 3 interview times are closed for responses because they've already been spoken for by Mark and Sandy. If Johnny is available for the last remaining interview time, then we would be ready to confirm these 3 separate interview times, 1 to Mark, 1 to Sandy, and 1 to Johnny. If Johnny had selected that he was not available for the last remaining time, then we, the host, would have received an email notifying us that none of the times offered worked for Johnny Lately. We could either add more times to the event in an effort to accommodate Johnny, or we could leave it as is and only interview Mark and Sandy. Sorry, Johnny. Let's look at one more quick example. In this scenario, we have 2 tee times and are going to schedule 8 golfers for these 2 tee times. We'll close each tee time after it has received 4 available responses from 4 of the golfers. When scheduling is complete, we'll have 2 foursomes. We also need to limit each golfer to 1 available response. This means that each golfer can only choose 1 tee time. We'll speed things up and jump to the response of our 5th golfer, Sammy Swing-A-Lot. Here we can see that the first tee time already has 3 available responses from 3 of the golfers, and the second time has 1 available response so far. Sammy would like to be part of the first foursome, so he'll select available for the first time. Sammy has now reached his response limit and is presented with the blue response limit reached banner. Now here comes our 6th golfer, Lisa Leave It Short. The first tee time is now closed for responses because it has received 4 available responses. Lisa and the remaining golfers can only choose the second tee time. Nifty. We encourage you to take time to view the ProPack example tutorials. We're confident that once you see it in action, you'll see how easy, flexible, and convenient it is to schedule events with ProPack Plus. This concludes ProPack Plus tab scheduling tutorial. Thanks for watching.